Well, the reading this morning consists of two short readings from different parts of the Bible. And the first one is from 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 3 to 5, and then from Matthew 5, verses 13 to 16. Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves have received from God. For just as the sufferings of Christ flow over into our lives, so also through Christ our comfort overflows. And the next one is part of the Beatitudes. You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled by men. You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before men, that they may see your good deeds and praise your Father in heaven. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
Morning everyone. As Paul's quite rightly said, my name's Phil. I've been living in Billericay now for 27 plus years. I know it's about then because I think I've got a 27 wedding anniversary coming up soon. I think it's 27. Might even be 28. Who knows? Probably my wife. But morning, I would like to just share with you a little bit about what we've been doing. I know some of you know a bit about street pastors. I know some of you are street pastors. I know some of you have been out very late on a Friday and Saturday night, and I've seen you. In various states, I must say. And don't look at somebody next to you because you know who I'm talking about. And it's great that we've been able to serve our local community up the high street for the last nearly 8 months now. The idea originally comes 20 odd years ago from Reverend Les Isaacs, who was wondering how the church can help their local community. So he was in South London. So how can the church start to actually do what we all say we want to do, is get out of our seats, look outwards, and how can we help what was their context, their community at that point. So the whole idea of street pastors, people from the church going out, patrolling to help in a non-judgmental way the people in our society are at that point the most vulnerable, that idea started to come into his mind with a few others, and he was linking in with a couple of local police officers as well. So between the local police, the church and the local council, the idea of street pastors began. Now all those years later, we found our position a couple of years ago in the fact that we thought that we should have street pastors in Billericay. Now, for those of you that have been up the high street, is it a horrible place to go? No? Anybody seen any fights up our high street? No? Anybody seen anybody drunk up our high street? Who said yes? You were looking in the mirror, weren't you? So we do get a bit of drunkenness. We don't get much violence. Anybody seen anybody being sick in the high street? Which is very unpleasant. David, yes. Again, David was looking in the mirror. No, it was somebody else. It was Jane, I think. It's terrible what you can eat in some of those restaurants, isn't it? It's not the drink at all, is it? But we have found that we had to think about, well, is street pastors actually relevant? And one of the questions that we quite often come up with is, do we really need street pastors in Billericay High Street? It's not a bad place to go for a meal, for a drink, for other activities that are in and around the high street. So I had to go and meet the council and say to them, look, we are not coming to you and saying Billericay is so bad, We need street pastors. We're not coming to you saying this is a horrendous place and things are getting bad, because actually that would have been a bit of manipulation. So I went to them and I said, look, Billericay is a lovely place to live. Our high street is a great place to go for an evening out. And we want to help it stay like that. Because sometimes in life we react to situations, don't we? We react to a fight or a war or something like that, and we're reactive. Well, we thought, well, rather than wait for another drinking establishment to come, somebody else to open late at night, for things to become worse, let's get in now. Let's form our relationship with the police, the council. Let's organise street pastors, and let's try and help where we can right now. And it seems to be working. We've spent the last year or so building relationships with the restaurants, with the pubs, with the taxi drivers, with the ambulance people, with the police. Anybody that's out and about when most of you lot are tucked up in bed. Okay. I need to work out what is the latest time that probably some of you go out on a Friday and Saturday night. So I'm just trying to think of who I've seen lately. Julian, what time are you out on Friday and Saturday night? Which is? 10 and 12. Have you had a relationship being built with the street pastors from Domino's Pizzas? Oh, yes. Yeah. Do you bring us free pizzas, Julian? Not yet. I'm always on the lookout to build a special relationship with certain individuals around the high street. I'm sure he won't. But one of my ladies might ask, and when we might get them. I find that some people are always warm to me. I don't know why. But yes, so Julian's out late at night. Anybody else out late at night on a Friday and Saturday night in around our high street? Any of you have to work? Are you all indoors? Oh my goodness. Well, I know so many of you are lying because I've seen you there. Anyway, let's move on. What people do you imagine might be out there that we need to pray for, obviously, later on? Who do you think might be out there that we might be able to help? Young people. Why young people, Stuart? Quite cathartic to admit some of these things, Stuart, isn't it? Yeah. Stuart I've seen out there late at night, which he hasn't admitted. So yeah, some of our younger people go out when they're starting on their journey of going out at night. So when they're about 15, 16, 17, they're actually going out when they shouldn't quite be going out yet. One of the obvious signs that a young lady is up the high street and she's not quite 18 yet is the fact that she isn't wearing high heel shoes. Have you seen the high heel shoes that young ladies wear nowadays? Horrendous. Some of them are up here. But if you see a young lady out and about, and she probably have possibly had something to drink at home before she comes out, because she's actually not allowed to buy alcohol yet, and she's walking along the high street and she might have baseball boots on, or flip-flops, or flat shoes, the doorman look at these young ladies and think, she's not coming in. She's not old enough to come in here. Because I don't know what it is, as soon as you're allowed to go out, you wear high heel shoes. So what do we have our equipment when we see these young ladies in high heels? Flip-flops, but not just any sort of flip-flops, because this is Billericay. And we are slightly posh. So we have special gel flip-flops. And we have been giving these out to young ladies that we see walking along without any shoes on. It's happening. You look and you think, what on earth are you doing? Some young ladies actually carry their shoes when they're going out because they can't walk in them until they arrive at the place that they want to be at. So early on in the evening, you see them walking along, carrying their high heel shoes, waiting outside the pub, the restaurant, where putting their shoes on and then going in. But later on they can't do that because they've had a little bit too much to drink. How they're not falling off the sides of them, I don't know. How we don't have more broken ankles, I don't know, but we don't. But we like to give them free flip-flops to prevent them hurting their feet, to prevent them treading into something that you and I wouldn't want to tread into. Recently, we've realised that very soon we're going to be running out of these, and very, very generously, the Tilly's Shoes, have you seen Tilly's Shoes at Gooseberry Green? They have donated more shoes. They donated the gel flip-flops to us. Well, they've now donated these. I don't know what these are. Anybody got a good description? They're not quite skulls, I don't think. I don't know. How am I going to refer to them during talks? Clogs? Hello? We're not from Holland. Open-toed sandals or something like that. Sandals? Unfortunately, they don't come in my size, so I can't show you how they work. But there, he's just donated all these to us, so 240 pairs of these. So when we get rid of our rather posh flip-flops, the young ladies of Billericay are going to be blessed. Apparently my wife and daughter say these are very comfortable, so I'm not sure how many pairs they're going to have before I get to give them out. So we come equipped with other things as well. One of the best things I like in our street pastors' rucksacks that we carry are lollipops. Any idea why we carry these? You're all whispering, I can't hear whisperers. Sugar levels? Yeah? How much sugar do we get out of a drumstick? Yeah, it's incredible. You get a quick shot of sugar. So why do we need a quick shot of sugar when we're out and about? Energy. Do you know why I love these? These are a distraction. So just come with me a little bit on a journey that you're out and about on a Friday and Saturday night. Some of you, this is going to take a lot of imagination. Some of you are just thinking about last night. Some of you, Friday night. Oh, they're all worried now. So I'm out and about. Imagine you're 6'2", bloke, had a few beers, and getting a bit aggressive. Has anybody witnessed anything like this before? Yeah. So there's a bit of tension sometimes in our high street. So we might come across that as street pastors. We go out in groups of 4, and we might come across a situation's getting a bit tense. So what do? We sidle up. Normally one of my lovely ladies sidles up, armed with a lollipop and a bottle of water. 6'2", getting a bit aggressive. I want to fight you. Not you, I didn't mean to catch your eye. Isn't it difficult when you don't want to catch somebody's eye? I'll fight you. How about you? I know you beat me, wouldn't you? So they're all getting ready to fight. And then suddenly this old street pastor sidles up beside them. Excuse me, would you like a lollipop? Come on you. Come on, I'm going to have you. Come on. Oh, what? Well, what? Who are you anyway? What's a street pasty? Go away. No, would you like a lollipop? All right. Right, come on. Why have you given me this? So we're already starting to distract. Who thinks this works? It does. It's incredible. I was a police officer for 30 years until I retired last year. I have been to some pretty violent situations. I've been sent in when it's all kicked off already and when there's already horrible things happening. We used to get sent in. Why on earth didn't they give me a drumstick? We used to run in, we used to fight everybody, we used to get punched and kicked and come out of it with all sorts of horrible hurting places in my body, and they could have given me a drumstick. And I could have just gone up and said, have that, and walked off. I would have saved an awful lot of paperwork as well. Hours I've spent writing up on things. And I could have just given a drumstick and then gone home. We're finding these are distracting people. In that moment when somebody's energy levels are just about to burst, they've got this interaction now going on with this really silly person who is probably one of those do-gooders from the local church, standing next to me. Get out of my face. I want to fight. And now you've given me a lollipop. And what do you mean do I want a bottle of water? Oh, right. I've now got a bottle of... What? I want to fight. Do you know, we're witnessing people not fighting, not hurting each other because they're standing in the middle of the street on a Friday and Saturday night with a lollipop in their mouth and they're drinking a bottle of water, talking to some street pasty. They cannot, at that point, understand what has gone on. They're still thinking, hang on, I wanted to have a fight with that person because they were outrageous. I was all right. It was all down to them. And suddenly we're starting to interact and we're starting to quieten it all down. But one of the things that I always... I better keep that one because that's been in my mouth. Health and safety. I bet somebody's here from health and safety, aren't they? Yes. Apologies, I've got my flip-flops. It's who? German police are here as well, okay. Is that you? Oh, sorry. I washed my hands this morning 3 times before I came out, after I went to the toilet. But there we are in the middle of the street. Who do you think then makes a good street pastor in that situation? Somebody like me, 30 years police officer, 6'2", slightly over 14 stone. Good, well done. Who laughed first? I know where you live, so be careful. Is it me? Someone brave. You have to be brave to be a street pastor. Jane, are you a particularly brave person? Yeah. Are you ordinary? Is Jane ordinary? No. What is Jane? Special and extraordinary. Who said that? Well done, Audrey. 10 points. You are all extraordinary people because who goes with Jane when she goes out to confront this man? Yeah, Jesus. He's in all of us. He has equipped all of us to do something within this project. Part of what I like to do, and I don't need to put any pressure on any of you to become street pastors, which is fantastic, because we have got so many people already in our project. It's amazing. For some of you that were over Fun in the Park last week and witnessed us commission another 14 of us, another 14 street. We are blessed with the amount of people that want to become street pastors in this town because we're catching what it means to be out on behalf of Jesus, trying to help people that are vulnerable. So it's great. So I don't need to put any pressure on you, but what I would like to just provoke you to thinking is, what gift have you got that you could use in a project like this? Because I'm looking around at all of you. Some of you I know, some of you I don't know that well. But I know that we can all bring something to the party. I bring what I bring. Sometimes I am not the most sensitive being in the world, and I can cause a little bit of trouble wherever I go. The best person for me that mops up after me is who? My wife. She's amazing. She's more gifted and talented in so many things than I'll ever be. I tend to go in and cause trouble, and then she comes up and deals with the mess. She's got the patience of one of those saint people. She's amazing. She'd be a great street pastor, but for some reason she doesn't want to get involved. Probably because I'm involved, and she knows it's a lot of work for her when she gets involved. But there's something for us all to do. What other people might we meet then on the street on a Friday and Saturday night that isn't drunk, that isn't wanting to have a fight? Homeless. How many homeless people have we got in Billericay? Anybody? Do I know? No. None of us know. Have we met homeless people on the streets of Billericay? Yes, we have. Over the course of the last 8 months, we've met 6. Homeless for different reasons. Young lad got kicked out of home. Why did he get kicked out of home? Because he became 16. And his parents thought this is a chance for us to teach him to be a man, to what it's going to be like. So on his birthday, the day after, they said, out you go. No warning, no preparation. We caught up with him on his third night. He'd been sleeping in the gardens, or Jubilee Gardens. He'd been sleeping in there for 2 nights. We met him on a Friday night. And he came in, he was cold, he was hungry, and he didn't really know what to do with himself. Another chap who likes to come to Billericay on a Friday and Saturday night. He's a homeless man from Southend. He doesn't like Southend on a weekend because he sees all the things that goes on. He doesn't like to see violence. He doesn't like to see homeless people having a go at other homeless people. He doesn't like that environment. He comes to Billericay for a break. He rides his pedal cycle from Southend here on a Friday afternoon, stays with us. I say stay with us. He sleeps behind the library. And then he goes home on a Sunday afternoon. We haven't seen him for a couple of weeks, so I'm a little bit worried about him, but hopefully he's okay. So there are homeless people amongst us. We don't know, though. I would be wrong to stand here and say I now know the homeless situation in Billericay. I don't. What I do know is if we come across a homeless person, what can we offer them? Shelter for a short period of time, because we're only there for a short period of time. So shelter. We can offer them companionship. We like to sit and chat and value the people. We can give them a hot toasted tea cake because we're from Billericay. Just somebody gave me a tea cake the other day and they didn't even toast it. What's all that about? I need to remember who that was, actually. They need to get a bad mark on their report. But we can offer them something warm to eat, some shelter for a little while. The homeless chap from Southend, he did actually settle in our company one night so much that he had a 2-hour sleep. Because I think suddenly he could have a proper sleep. You know, he's not going to keep one eye open. And, do you know, there must be, you know, some homeless people that are drifting in and out of sleep most of the day because you never have that really good sleep. So who else might be vulnerable on our street on a Friday and Saturday? Homeless, drunk, drug addicts. Yeah. How many drug addicts have we got in Billericay? What drugs are available on our high street on a Friday and Saturday night? Cannabis? Cocaine? Heroin? LSD? Ecstasy? Good. Maureen's never even heard of them. Good old Maureen. Maureen has just applied to become a street pastor. Because Maureen needs to be enlightened, sister. So, right, Jane, I need a full name and address. Email. Do you have a mobile, Maureen? No, I don't. No. You don't WhatsApp on a Friday night, Maureen, do you? Talking double Dutch now. But yeah, what's the drug situation? Our drug situation in Billericay is not that bad, okay? It tends to be very behind closed doors. The only real drug problem I've witnessed is I see people meeting very, very quickly in the Co-op car park or outside the newsagents in Perry Street, and there's a quick exchange going on. But I know that because I've watched them for years. I know what a drug deal looks like. So you wouldn't probably be aware half the time of what's going on. So there are little drug deals going on, but we don't have a massive drug problem. Every now and then we might have a spate of burglaries that could be caused by somebody who's got a bit of a drug addiction going on. That's just one possibility. So if you hear of suddenly, you know, in an area we have 3 or 4 burglaries, it might well be that somebody's living locally that's got a bit of a problem with their habit at that point. That's just a possibility. Not always. You can't relate burglaries to drugs all the time, but it could be somebody in that area's got a bit of a problem going on. So yeah, drunk, drugs, being sick, homeless. Who else might we meet as street pastors? Mental illness. Yeah. We have people that have mental illness in Billericay. And this manifests itself in all sorts of different ways, as I'm sure you're all aware of. But we do come across people that need different things from us. So what can we do as street pastors there and then when we're just meeting somebody for the first time, trying to work out what's going on, and then maybe coming to the realisation that this person's actually got some special needs that we need to look after. What can we do you think? Listen. We can certainly pray, can't we? Yeah. We make sure that we communicate between us all as well, so that one street pastor group knows who the other street pastor group has met. So yes, we can pray. What else can we do if we come across somebody that we might think, actually, there's something going on in your life you need more care for? We can make sure they're safe. We sometimes walk people home. We try not to, because when we're walking people home, we go as a group. We always stay as a group for our own safety, so that takes the whole group away. But if they're locally in the high street area, we can do that, or we can make sure that they get home. So we're looking after them. Maybe a parent comes and gets them, or an appropriate adult, or in some circumstances we might get them into a taxi, somebody that we rely on, somebody that we can link in with as well. We won't just dump them. The other thing that we do is we signpost them. So one thing we're doing is all the time is we're building relationships with outside organisations, because we know we are not all things to everyone. We don't go out there saying, street pastors, we're superhuman and we can solve your issue right now. Well, that's not what we're doing. We're front line, scooping people up and just seeing if we can signpost them. So somebody's got an alcohol problem, we might signpost them to Synergy. If somebody is suicidal, we might interact with the Samaritans or the local church. Have they got a connection already with the local church? We need to sort of keep that going. But there are people that we see week in, week out, that we realise that now we are the front line. We are talking to them and making sure they're okay every week. Anybody else that we can think that we can look after? Anybody else? Runaways. Yeah. We tend not to see too many runaways. We become aware of runaways from other areas that we need to look out for. We're really getting good relationships with the police and all this sorts of other things. There was one recently from Shenfield. A young lady had run away, and we were trying to look out for her while we were out on patrol, because we don't have the police resources that we used to in Billericay. Some nights on a Friday and Saturday night, there are no local police officers on duty. So we are not taking the place of the police, but we can do some of the things that they would normally do. So we do look out for people. We welcome the PCSOs, the specials and the regular police officers into our hub at St Mary's, and we try and carry on encouraging them to talk to us. Some of them are a little bit reticent, but yeah, we're building relationships with them as well. There is, we're also building relationships with the SOS bus from Bas Vegas. Have any of you been onto the SOS bus at Basildon? Late at night? Coming out of bowling? Have you seen it there, the double-decker bus? Yeah, the big blue. Yeah, they do an amazing work, and they've got a support vehicle. And we're trying to build a relationship, because every now and then we get stuck. How are we going to get this person to hospital? How are we going to get this person home? Because come 2 o'clock in the morning, we're pretty tired. I mean, not all the street pastors are as young as me. Maureen's going to struggle. Come 2 o'clock in the morning, Maureen is going to be dead on her feet. She is not 8 o'clock in the evening. That was him, not me. You are so in trouble. Oh dear. He is going to be reminded of that how many times today, Maureen? Oh dear, you weren't expecting any dinner today, were you? Oops. You've got sucked into this banter and now you're going to pay for it. I'm going to walk away in a minute. But yes, we are trying to look after everybody that we come and meet with, but we know our limitations. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, when we want to shut that door of St Mary's and we have a debrief, because the one biggest thing I love, and I really do love this, and this is what keeps me going, is that when the street pastors come back from their patrol, or when we have a debrief, and I say to them, what's been the most significant thing that's happened for you tonight? And they sit and we share. And some of the things that people say to us that we really, really cherish. So we sit there and we discuss what's been the best thing that's happened for you tonight. And it could be as simple as we have brushed the shoulders of somebody that at that moment was in need. A young lady on Friday night. She was in bits, walking along the high street on her own, sobbing her heart out. No shoes on. Probably a little bit worse for wear for drink. She'd got no idea where she was or where she was going or why she was crying. And we just had about 5-10 minutes in her company just to say, are you okay? Are you all right? She was able to relax a little bit because she was in a place of safety. She was with people that had the uniform on. She was at St Mary's, which is a fantastic, safe place. We gave her some water. We gave her a drumstick. We put flip-flops on her feet. She spent 5, maybe 10 minutes with us. And I could see that all that emotion that suddenly she didn't know where she was, she got herself back together again. And you can see people when they suddenly sucking it all back in again, their shoulders lift and go, oh yeah, no, I'm okay now. And off she went. We didn't do too much, did we? What did we do? We gave her a bit of our time. We gave her some flip-flops, a bottle of water. It's not much. It was enough at that moment for that young lady to be able to carry on her life and get home safely. So it can be anything from that to sitting with somebody for an hour and a half, listening to why they're really upset that they're going through a divorce, that they're losing their children. They might be sitting there, they might have just had somebody die that's very close to them. They've come out from home because they're fed up of sitting at home feeling sad and depressed or alone. So they come out to the high street because they want to be with people. They want to see some action. But then it just makes it a little bit worse because sometimes when we're feeling sad and then we go and witness other people enjoying themselves, sometimes makes us feel a bit sadder. And then they're walking along the high street. And then there's these silly old street pastors wandering along. I wonder what they're doing. And then we sit and talk to these people, and it can be up to an hour and a half, can be up to 2 hours, just chatting. But I love to look at the faces of the street pastors when they're telling these stories. And we do pray for people. So my message this morning is, we are out there on a Friday and Saturday night. My message to you all is, with no pressure, is if any of you are interested in what we're doing or think in yourself, do you know, I think I've got a little bit in me that I could use in that project. Come and have a look to see what we do on a Friday and Saturday night. There are street pastors here amongst you that are already doing it and are qualified. Who's here today? Jane and David. So Jane and David are here. Who else is here from this congregation? You've got Chris Davis, Andy Butt. Is that it at the moment? Yeah, so it's the 4 of you. So ask them questions. Could I become a street pastor? Yes, you could. In all the sort of different things that you could be. Come along and visit us at our hub on a Friday and Saturday night. See what we do. And if you've got any more questions, I'm going to hang around afterwards. So come and have a chat with me.